expecting a lot of impacts across the development sectors. It's not agriculture, it's health, it's going to be civil society, it's going to be everybody has an effect that climate change is going to do with it. And so how we manage that risk or those factors is where we come in. For those who haven't done a new CDCS in the last year, you will have to start incorporating that into your designs. Also, by October 2016, you'll have to incorporate climate risk into your new activities. Many of you already are doing CSAs in your present activities, so this will be sort of a minor adjustment. But moving ahead, we'll be there to help you review some of your new pads, your new activities, to make sure that you've incorporated climate change into your designs. How you go about doing your assessments and your risk is really up to you and up to the mission and what they can do. There are probably many different ways of doing this, and it may be logical to think about it in other ways. But here's an example where we look through it with a value chain lens. So, what is that going to mean for us? Like in the maize systems, are we going to expect higher temperatures? If we're going to have water stress. Is there going to be changing patterns? Are we going to change from a monomodal rainy season to a bimodal? Will there be more pasture diseases? And also you have to take into the whole picture. So if you're going to be working on production, don't forget about infrastructure. You may not work in infrastructure, but the whole executive order is to say, if you have to make everything resilient to climate change, it may not be that you're going to be working on that, but we don't want everything undone just because you didn't want to work in infrastructure or something like that, or you couldn't work in infrastructure. So if the biggest bottleneck is going to be infrastructure, you might have to rethink that. But if the biggest bottleneck is going to be in production, then we maybe focus on that and try to mitigate anything else that might come along that will have a negative effect on your programming. Maybe some of the ways that we look at how resilience activities should be designed is that we can think about the way we think about FTF. The 4 pillars of FTF are availability, access, utilization, and stability. So maybe go through that when you're designing your new projects or your new CDCS or your new pads, and look and see ways in which we can make sure that we are taking into account the risk of climate change. In availability, is crop production going to change? Will the markets be affected? When will the changes occur? Think of time and space as well. Are you going to be impacted by disease or temperature changes, droughts or rainfall or salt intrusion? Is it predictable? Is it a direct effect or is it an indirect effect? So, you just get your mind around ways that you can look at how this is going to impact my planning into the future. How is climate going to change affordability for maize crops? Is it going to have a nutritional impact? Does higher temperatures mean that somehow it changes the crop itself? How is gender going to be affected? And utilization as well is that to look at, is this going to increase the risk of food safety in the system? We know in some cases aflatoxins and myotoxins may become more prevalent in those systems. And does this have an adverse effect on gender or on age groups? We know that in aflatoxins, the younger tend to suffer a lot more. So try to think of those things ahead of time, anticipate those problems. Instability, what is the long-term effects going to be? Are we looking at a 5-year horizon, a 10-year horizon, or a 20-year horizon? What are the impacts on prices and markets going to do? When is this all going to occur? Where is it going to be affected the most? And that should help you decide what you want to do. Or we can look at it resource-based. What's the effect of water going to have? Is it going to mean that we're going to have less rainfall or more rainfall? Is the groundwater going to be affected? That becomes very important if you're doing groundwater irrigation. Is salinity going to be a problem along coastal areas or in semi-arid areas. You know, and again, think about infrastructure, things like that, how are bridges, roads, cold storages, irrigation canals going to be affected. We can also look at things like seeds and species varieties. How vulnerable are these systems, and what can we do about it? You know, and think of livestock, because you know that's part of the species determination as well. Are the animals or even the types of breeds we're using going to adapt to the new changes that are coming down the pike? And how nutrition and gender go together. So those are all some of the things that we need to think about as we go forward. So it's really up to you to make sure that our investments going into the future are climate resilient. But you're not alone. We can help you along the way. We're putting together right now with other bureaus guidance on pad development, what things you should be looking for. And a lot of these things that I talked about today will be in there to help guide you through it. As always, the BFS team is there to help you out. You know, don't be afraid to call. Send us an email. TDY possibilities to come out and help out, we can work around that as well. And we're in the process also of thinking about new mechanisms. What types of things that you need that we could offer at a central level in Washington? Do you need assessments done? Do you need TDY support? Do you need experts to come out and look at certain aspects of your program moving forward? That feedback we really need for you to help us out there so that we know what you want and can anticipate in developing a mechanism that can aid you through this whole process. And remember, CSA is not a standalone project. It is to be integrated into your programming. So, you know, you're not going to be planning a CSA project. You're going to integrate CSA into all the things that you do under Feed the Future.